Hey athletes, it's Dr. Jackson over at the Sports Pod, and I just wanted to bring you a quick video today, and I'd like to basically talk about something that I hinted to in a previous video, and that is overpronation of your foot. So, what is pronation? If we're going to talk about pronation, you probably need to go ahead and explain what supination is. So I'll go ahead, get that out of the way, and then we'll kind of go from there. So, supination is, going to be kind of this outward turning, if you will. So if I use my hand and I open it up like this, that would be what we call supination. So if you think of your hand makes almost a bowl that you can put some soup in, and then pronation is when you're going to turn inwards and go down, okay? So overpronation syndrome is something that happens, to quite a few people, and it can actually lead to ankle, hip, knees, and even low back issues if it's, not taken care of properly. So first off, I want to say that pronation is something that happens during your normal gait. Okay, if your foot is moving correctly, your ankle is moving correctly, and you're striking properly, you will get some degree of pronation. It's just when it's excessive that you actually have a problem. So how do you know if you have pronation? Well, or hyperpronation? Well, a lot of times people will say, if they have flat feet or they have low arches, that they're a hyperpronator. Also, if you kind of want to know what it looks like, if you have someone stand straight up and down, you look from them from the behind angle and you see their Achilles tendon kind of curve in towards the midline of their body, that's usually a good indicator, that they are hyperpronating to some degree. So now, let's get into kind of the foot strike and the biomechanics and how the hyperpronation actually occurs. So, when your heel strikes the ground, during a normal gait, your heel actually wants to basically supinate and go out a little bit. So what happens is, in order for the ankle and the foot to properly absorb shock and dissipate forces evenly throughout the ankle, the inside of your foot, your ankle is actually going to pronate inward, okay, which allows you to absorb that shock, spread the force throughout the body, and then activate kind of the sling system on the bottom of the foot, where it translates forces through the arch of your foot and then onto the ball of your foot, okay? So when you have an issue is when you basically overpronate, and then basically that medial arch is what's actually fully contacting the ground, and that translates into basically medial translation of the knee, also the hip, which puts a lot of stress on the inside of that knee. It can cause some hip problems, and that basically will translate up the chain, and maybe even you would have, some low back issues. So having an increased Q angle, having flat feet or low arches, those are going to be a couple of kind of factors that are going to predispose you to having an overpronation syndrome. But having said that, just because you have those things doesn't necessarily mean like you're plagued and you're going to have issues with running, walking, jumping, etc. So that's essentially hyperpronation in a nutshell. Hope you learned something from this video, guys. Feel free to give me a shout out on social media. Should be down here in my left hand corner. Hope to hear from you soon, guys. Have a good one and move free.